Painted by Emanuel Leutze, Washington Crossing the Delaware stands today as one of the most enduring and emotionally charged images of the American Revolution. Although the work was completed more than 75 years after the dramatic winter crossing it portrays, the painting has come to define how generations imagine that moment. It is not a simple illustration of a historical episode, but a carefully constructed historical narrative, one that blends memory, symbolism, and political meaning into a single, unforgettable image. The event depicted took place on the night of December 25th to 26th, 1776, when George Washington, Commander-in-Chief of the Continental Army, led his troops across the icy Delaware River. At that stage of the Revolutionary War, the American cause appeared close to collapse. The year 1776 had begun with optimism following the Declaration of Independence, but that optimism quickly faded. The Continental Army suffered a humiliating defeat at the Battle of Long Island, followed by a series of retreats that forced Washington's forces out of New York and deep into New Jersey. British troops occupied New York City, and the once confident rebellion seemed fragile and disorganized. Morale within the American army was dangerously low. Soldiers were poorly supplied, exhausted, and demoralized. Even more alarming was the fact that many enlistments were set to expire on January 1st, 1777. Without a decisive success, Washington risked losing not only territory but his army itself. The Revolutionary War, what Washington famously referred to as the Great Cause, seemed in danger of ending almost as soon as it had begun. Under intense pressure from pursuing British forces led by Lord Cornwallis, Washington devised a bold and desperate plan. Rather than continuing to retreat, he chose to strike. His target was a garrison of Hessian soldiers stationed at Trenton near the Delaware River. These German troops were experienced and disciplined, but Washington believed a surprise attack could succeed where conventional engagement had failed. The plan relied on secrecy, speed, and the element of surprise. Only officers were informed of the full strategy, while ordinary soldiers received their orders only as each stage of the operation unfolded. On Christmas night, approximately 2,400 men prepared to cross the river and march toward Trenton. Almost immediately, nature turned against them. A violent winter storm battered the region, bringing freezing rain, snow, and powerful winds. Roads became nearly impassable, and large chunks of ice clogged the river. Boats struggled against the current, and progress was painfully slow. By midnight, the crossing was already hours behind schedule, threatening the entire operation. At that moment, Washington faced an agonizing decision: retreat and preserve what remained of his army, or press forward despite the mounting risks. He chose to continue, believing that turning back would doom the cause just as surely as defeat. On the opposite shore, Hessian commander Johann Rall was not careless or complacent, as later rumors suggested. His troops were alert, and some even slept in their clothes, ready to respond at a moment's notice. Claims that the Hessians were drunk or asleep were spread after the battle, largely to diminish the significance of the American victory. Yet, despite their vigilance, the storm proved decisive. The harsh weather masked the Americans' delayed arrival, allowing them to approach Trenton without being detected. When the fighting began, confusion and chaos quickly overwhelmed the Hessian defenders. Surrounded and cut off, they were unable to organize an effective resistance. The battle ended with nearly 1,100 Hessian soldiers captured, along with significant supplies. American losses were remarkably small. More important than the tactical outcome was the psychological impact. News of the victory spread rapidly throughout the colonies, restoring confidence in Washington's leadership and renewing belief in the revolutionary cause. Soldiers re-enlisted, new volunteers joined, and for the first time in months, hope returned to the struggle for independence. Leutze's painting transforms this military success into a visual epic. Created in Düsseldorf in 1849, the work reflects not only American history, but also the political climate of Europe in the mid-19th century. Leutze, who had spent part of his childhood in the United States, believed deeply in ideals of freedom and national self-determination. He intended the painting to serve as inspiration for contemporary audiences, particularly liberal reformers during the European revolutions of 1848, encouraging them to look to the American Revolution as a model of unity and resistance against oppression. The painting's first version was damaged in a studio fire, but Leutze immediately began work on a second, which was exhibited in the United States in 1851. Thousands of visitors traveled to see the massive canvas, drawn by its dramatic scale and emotional intensity. At a time when the United States itself was becoming increasingly divided, especially over the issue of slavery, the painting's message of unity across differences resonated strongly with viewers. At the center of the composition is the boat itself, crowded with 13 men straining against wind, water, and ice. Their clothing and appearance are carefully chosen to represent a broad cross-section of colonial society. There are farmers in heavy coats and broad-brimmed hats, Western riflemen in hunting shirts and leggings, sailors accustomed to rough seas, and recent immigrants from Europe. One figure of African descent stands among them, prominently visible. His inclusion was deliberate. Leutze, an outspoken abolitionist, sought to acknowledge the often overlooked role of African Americans in the fight for independence. Enslaved and free African Americans fought on both sides during the Revolutionary War. Some sought freedom by joining the British, while others served in patriot forces as soldiers, sailors, and laborers. By placing an African American man in the boat, Leutze underscored the idea that the struggle for liberty involved people of different backgrounds and statuses, all bound together by a shared desire for freedom. Towering above the others are two figures from Virginia. One is Lieutenant James Monroe, gripping the flag and holding it upright against the storm. The other is Washington himself, standing firm despite the treacherous conditions. He wears the buff and blue uniform of the Continental Army and holds a brass telescope, symbolizing foresight and vision, while his saber represents military authority and resolve. Washington's posture is deliberately heroic, even though it would have been impractical in reality. The artist sacrifices strict accuracy to convey leadership, courage, and moral strength. Critics have long noted the painting's historical inaccuracies. The flag did not yet exist, the boat is smaller than those actually used, the ice resembles European rivers more than the Delaware, and Washington appears older than his 44 years. Yet these inaccuracies are secondary to the painting's purpose. Leutze did not aim to recreate a frozen moment with photographic precision. Instead, he sought to express the deeper truth of the event, the uncertainty, the danger, and the collective determination that defined the crossing. Above the boat, the sky is dark and turbulent, yet light breaks through the clouds, suggesting hope emerging from despair. Each man in the boat is portrayed as an individual, but none stands alone. They are united by circumstance and by purpose, sharing the same fragile vessel as they push forward against overwhelming odds. In this way, Washington crossing the Delaware endures not simply as a depiction of a military maneuver, but as a powerful historical narrative. It tells the story of a moment when defeat seemed inevitable, yet was overcome by courage, unity, and resolve. The painting captures the spirit of revolution itself, a shared struggle carried forward by diverse individuals, all moving together toward an uncertain but hopeful future.